All right, the next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is: does Anthony Joshua resume his status as the number one heavyweight in the world if he beats Andy Ruiz? For this segment, we're going to bring in our resident Anthony Joshua fan, Ned the cameraman.
Slow walk to the ring. Slow walk to the ring. He goes shook.
Shout out to AJ Gang, yo. Shout out to
AJ Gang.
All right, and I'm going to start this one off with G.
No. You know what I mean? Let me stop. Alright, see, I started off with hate because of the cameraman. It all depends how he violates Ruiz. If he wins, but it's like a back and forth, nah, not really, because then people going to be like, yo, you got to do a part 3. But if he like RIPs Ruiz, like, and it's clear, then we could just say, yo, the first one was a fluke. Then all the conspiracies behind the first fight, people could be like, yeah, I can see that. So then now he's back on the throne. So I gotta be real. It's like, it's possible, but if Ruiz does damage, I don't think so. It's gonna be like, yeah, you may have won your belts back, but everyone's like, yo, there's too many dents in your armor. You're exposed. You might be the person with the most titles, but you're not running the division anymore.
True.
In part, I agree with G. And I just want to clarify what G says, R.I.P. Ruiz, he doesn't mean actually.
Oh,
R.I.P.
nah, I'm just talking about like
dominating
to
get him out of there quick and easy. And I agree with you. Like, to me, it's still gonna be up in the air. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because there's 2 other guys that have draws, but they have no losses.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it still will be up in the air for me. That's just my take on it.
Ned the cameraman.
Let me tell y'all something. It doesn't matter what the experts say. It's what the people want. Let me tell y'all something.
What?
Drake got exposed for ghostwriting. His fans don't care. To them, he's the best rapper alive.
So what you say, AJ on the
Yo, let my man.
Go ahead.
So, AJ get his belts back. It don't matter what the experts say. It's what the people want, yo. If he's a people's champ, he's number one. Best. He's number one out there. Point blank period.
I ain't gonna say nothing though. It sounded cute.
Thank you.
So, yes, in my opinion, if Anthony Joshua beats Andy Ruiz, he's the best out. The number one heavyweight, he regains his status, and here's the reason why. He has victories over Joseph Parker. Tyson Fury doesn't have a victory over Joseph Parker, neither does Deontay Wilder. You can say what you want about Joseph Parker, but he's a former heavyweight champion of the world. He only has 2 losses to top-tier opponents, one being Dillian White and the other being Anthony Joshua. And Tyson Fury himself said in an interview that Joseph Parker is the only fighter that he respects. And even if you go on Instagram, they posted a picture together. He said that Joseph Parker's a real fighter. He said Joseph Parker was better than Joshua and better than Wilder. He said that. And Anthony Joshua beat Joseph Parker. I would respect Fury if he beat Joseph Parker, but he didn't. I would respect Wilder if he beat Joseph Parker, but he didn't. And then let's talk about Dillian White, who's another top-tier heavyweight in the division. Joshua beat him. Wilder hasn't beaten Dillian White, and neither has Tyson Fury. So I gotta say, Anthony Joshua has that over them. Now, if you want to also bring up Alexander Povetkin, another top heavyweight, you can say what you want about him, say he's washed up. Well, he just beat Hughie Fury. And I know that Anthony Joshua's beating him, but Deontay Wilder hasn't fought him, neither has Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua's also beaten Vladimir Klitschko, and he didn't just beat him, he knocked him out. Tyson Fury beat him in a boring 12-round fight that no one will ever replay. Classic boxing channels will never replay this fight. But Anthony Joshua's fight with Vladimir Klitschko will live forever. Like, it will always be played as one of the greatest fights of all time. So, with that being said, Anthony Joshua resumes his status as the number one heavyweight, mainly because Wilder hasn't beaten Ruiz, and neither has Tyson Fury. Ruiz has one L on his resume to Joseph Parker. He's the only one who can claim, I beat that man, right? So they've never beaten any of these guys who Joshua stepped in the ring with, yet for some reason they should climb over him. No, their resumes need to be better in order for them to say they're the number one. Joshua should be rewarded for taking the risk for fighting these top contenders, and I reward him for that if he wins the rematch.
I feel that was beautifully spoken. Still, at the end of the day, that's your opinion that you think he should be. I'm still up in the air because I believe you're only as good as your last. I grew up in a place that was rough, right? And OGs used to come around and they used to tell the kids, you have to respect me because I did this back in the days and I did this back in the days and I was in these streets. And we would laugh and be like, that's cute. What you do last week?
Old
You know what I
head.
mean? Old head. And I say that to say about everything you say, yeah, AJ did all that. But in his last endeavor, he didn't do none of that what he did before. And now we don't know if he's going to do that this time. So we got to see how he looks. You know what I'm saying? After we see how he looks and how he doesn't, then we can start saying if he is, you know, if he should be. But right now, it's up in the air because we in there where how you look the last fight, we going off of that. You know
Yeah, and plus it's like no turning back for AJ, right? Like literally now, every fight upcoming, you're dealing with wolves, right? So if he beats Ruiz, but let's say it's like by decision, right? The fight's like really, really boring. He's just sticking to his jab, and then it's like, oh, he wins by decision, kind of like the Parker fight, right? Which I'm not saying AJ was trying to be boring, but Parker was boring, right? So if it's one of those fights, do you really think people gonna be like, yeah, yo, he's back on top? Like, nah, you know what I mean? He has to go in there and clear his name. He has to redeem himself.
He can fight a whole different type of fight.
That's what I'm saying.
He can fight a defensive fight and have AJ looking.
Exactly. Yo,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Ruiz is a counter fighter. So it's like, I hear what you're saying, right? Because AJ's resume is solid.
Yeah.
So, but however, again, I have to agree with Trill. He was good as your last fight. If he wins, but it's like he barely beats Ruiz, bro, nobody's gonna be like, yeah, he's back on top. Everybody's gonna be like, yo, he's food for the other guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, I hear what you're saying. I humbly disagree. And I actually like AJ. I know I sound like an AJ hater. I do like AJ. You know what I mean? I want AJ to do great for Ruiz. To set up my fight that I keep telling y'all about. Wilder 2020, baby. You know what I mean? But I need AJ to look great so Wilder could become great. You feel me? So, thank you.
So I respect, I respect your opinions, but where I'm coming from is judging his last fight. His last fight, once again, was against an opponent who hasn't fought Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury. So we don't know what Wilder would look like in the ring with Ruiz. And we don't know what Tyson Fury would look like in the ring with Ruiz. So to penalize Anthony Joshua for his performance against Ruiz and to say we somehow know how they would do with Ruiz, so therefore we're going to negate Joshua's accomplishments is inaccurate. That's why I said if he wins. Remember, I preface it by saying if he wins, he resumes his spot. He resumes his spot because of the resume and the fact that Ruiz has proven to be a top-tier fighter. And unless we've seen Ruiz get knocked off by all these other heavyweights and then he beat Joshua, then we can say, oh, Joshua's not it. But we can't say that. Ruiz is arguably undefeated to some folks because they believe he beat Joseph Parker. So all I'm saying is we don't know for a fact that Wilder's better than Ruiz. We don't know for a fact that Tyson Fury's better than Ruiz. Those two guys have a draw, but really Wilder should have an L on his record. So, like, if they call that fight the right way, Wilder's dropped, Fury's elevated, and we're talking about Ruiz being ranked over Wilder.
I'm talking about how he lost.
Thank you.
And I'm not just talking about the fight. I want to clear that up. I'm not just talking about the fight. I'm talking about his psyche in and out of the ring. I was talking about he didn't have passion and all that. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the full package. How he was his last outing. That's how I'm looking at it. How he was his whole, not just in the fight, how he lost. And about the whole not having passion and about the pressure and all this. I'm talking about that whole thing, put the whole thing put together.
I get what you're saying. You're saying it depends on how he looks in the fight.
Yeah.
You're saying the way he wins the fight determines whether or not he regains number one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying.
And how he acts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like how you were saying about his passion and all that matters. All that matters. If he's gonna be the number one heavyweight, because like G said, everybody he's a target now.
Yeah.
He's a target now. Like people is not like I know what happened in the fight. Because this is what happens. Like he went out there and he was dominating Andy Ruiz. Okay, we know that he put Andy Ruiz on his butt.
For the first time.
You know what I'm saying? No, he put Andy Ruiz on his butt.
For the first time.
He got ovations because of the pressure. We seen what Deontay Wilder did a week prior. So he wanted to do something impressive, and he ran in there and he got caught in the back of his head. Everybody said that, you know what I'm saying? He was out. He was out. No, I know that he knew what he was supposed to do, but if you ever got hit in the back of the head, everything's off. He was smiling. He was like, "Oh man, let me get up." He knew what he was. He knew where he was at. He knew but what I'm saying is now, AJ looks different. He looks slimmed down. He looks leaner. And I know that he's meaner, and he's coming out here to destroy Andy Ruiz. That being said, you're only as good as your last outing. You know what I'm saying? And if that's how people are gonna judge it, you know what I'm saying? That's how these media people. That's how they judge it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how casuals do it also.
Yeah, that's how they judge. Like, well, we see what happened to him last fight, and we see what Deontay Wilder did his last fight. We see, they were gonna say Tyson Fury knocking everybody out.
Yo,
and it was just one.
Exactly. But they lost my point. So I get what you're saying. You're saying
Hence Lomachenko's pound for pound.
You're saying it depends on how he performs and how he appears, right? So I understand that. What I'm saying is, for me, even if he wins a split decision, he regains number one. And the reason why I'm saying for me he regains number one is the fact that Ruiz, his quality is still unknown because Fury hasn't fought him, Wilder hasn't fought him, no one has outclassed him. So his only L was a split decision to Joseph Parker. So if Joshua goes out there and gets a split decision, you got to respect Ruiz's resume. Split decision loss to Joseph Parker. Victory, TKO victory over Anthony Joshua. Split decision loss to Anthony Joshua. Maybe Ruiz is just that dude.
They're gonna have to run that back 3 times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe Ruiz gets in the ring with Wilder and knocks him the hell out.
Yeah.
So like, you can't sit here and act like Ruiz is some stuff.
Yeah, Ruiz is definitely not. No, we're not saying. I said that Ruiz is gonna be a tough fight for Wilder. Because the way Wilder leaves his jab out and how Ruiz can come up under, he's a tough fight for Fury too. Because he's not just gonna sit there and let Fury just pop shot him. You know what I'm saying? He's an excellent counter punch. So we really don't know. You know what I'm saying? So we will see.
So that's where, but I get where you're coming from. That's where we part ways. I think is more of you guys are on how it happens, how he looks, and I'm just like, just win.
And I say, when he wins, he's number one again. It's what the people think, not what the experts say.
Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's the Boxing Bros.
Since I can't be TVE, I'm G-Code. Greatest cameraman of all time.
Yeah, we gonna take that out. Greatest editor's gonna take that out.